Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here we are with another video. Satchmoe and the Bad Guy coming at you. Year 1, Week 8 overview. Just get right into it. First, we got to start off. Game of the Year just happened, ladies and gentlemen. We had 10 viewers in that stream, so I'm sure a lot of y'all saw it. Chargers versus Jags. These were the number, 1 and 2, or maybe 1 and 3 consensus teams in the AFC. A lot of people had these guys meeting up in the playoffs. Well, they took the fields. They had themselves a game. Jaguars, they came out firing strong, took a 24 to 14 lead going into half with the ball. So, they looked very dominant with that 10-point lead. However, the offense kind of sputtered there in the end. We ended up going to overtime. It was a great game. However, Drew Lock ended up throwing an interception, which costed his team the game. You can see the stats there below. However, we did contact the East Side after the game. He said it was the toughest game of the year. He enjoyed the comeback. Also, later, he said, for some reason, he thought he was an underdog, and he loves the underdog narrative that he creates in his own head. But we'll just move on from there. Another highlight here, the MVP race, led by Jordan Love. He's having himself one of the greatest seasons I've ever seen from a quarterback. We're only halfway through, 31 TDs and 1 pick. I mean, it's really hard to compete with that. We have a few guys on here, Montrez Sweat, John Ross, and Watson. But really, if Jordan Love stays healthy and the coach doesn't bench him, we know who's going to be the MVP. And finally, for our headlines today, we have a Super Bowl prediction flop. Earlier, week 4, I said, hey, my early prediction is going to be the Saints. They got it in them. They ain't got shit. They're 4-3. They got all these veterans for no reason. They came out here just to play terrible. I mean, shit, you could have done that with rookies and, maybe had a future. But they got all these veterans. They got dominated by my Super Bowl prediction. So from now on, I'm going with the Bears. The Bears are my team to make it out of the NFC. All right, now let's get into it. We're going for the top 10 power rankings. We will only be going over the top 10 teams here. So if you're a bottom feeder team, sorry. You can go ahead and skip this video. It ain't for you. Number 10 here, we have the Giants, head coached by True Skinny. This is a guy who's up and down. He beats some good teams, loses some bad teams. However, as we see, he beat the Rams and the Bucs. Those are 2 solid teams right there. Lost to the Steelers, Bears, and Eagles. He finishes here 2-3 versus users, and just like we expected, he drafted I believe it was John Ross and Tyreek Hill. No, it's Henry Ruggs and Tyreek Hill. Excuse me. However, Derek Carr is just not. He don't got the arm to make those passes, so he gonna be throwing drag routes all year. Henry Ruggs only got 1 touchdown. We're 8 weeks into the season. So if I'm the Giants, I'm looking for Trevor Lawrence in this draft class. You need a strong arm quarterback. Derek Carr is top 5 in turnovers in the league. So that team right now they're ranked at 10. They could be going up or down. They need to improve. Here at number 9, we have the Lions. This is head coached by Mr. McWetball with a 4-3 record. He's 3-3 versus users this season. He's beaten the Packers, Cardinals, and Colts, and he's lost to the Bears, Saints, and Jaguars. And, this is a team who they have a solid defense, but their offense is struggling. They're bottom 10 in the league in points per game. That's including computers. So if you're just basing off users, he's probably in the bottom 5. And he's second to last in passing yards. And I think the big issue there is Cam Newton. He's not getting it done. He has like 9 touchdowns this season. We're 8 weeks into the season. Your starting quarterback has 9 touchdowns, bro. Joe Webb's already got 3, and he's played like a 10th of the snaps. It's time for Cam to go. He's got to retire. He needs to, I know he likes to dress up for the post-game interviews. Maybe he can go be a designer somewhere, but football ain't a sport. He needs to retire. Moving on, number 8, we have the Saints. And I'm just so disappointed in this team. 4-3. I mean, they've played all users, so it's not a bad record. But, Bucs, we expect them to lose to the Chargers and Bears, but the way they got beat, just flat-out domination, is not, not the team we saw coming into the league in Madden 20 where, they were being ranked first. 8th that's disappointing for this team, for a bucket. And, I think the reason for this is he comes out in the games. He doesn't have the best reads, but I'll tell you, it makes it a lot harder when you're not establishing the run. He waits to run the ball until the second half, or by the time he's down 17 points. You got to establish that run to start the game, then you go on passing. If a team knows you're just going to pass the ball, you're going to throw picks all day, like he's been doing, Ryan Tannehill. So now, obviously, it's no longer my Super Bowl favorite. Moving on here, number 7, and a lot of y'all would not expect this guy to be here. Buns no cap. Going into the season, this is the guy who was ranked almost dead last in every ranking in the last Madden League. However, he made the right decision to go join it was formerly dominant AFC East. Now they're terrible. The Jets they don't play any of the games. Patriots are AI. Like we just went over the Dolphins. No, we didn't go over the Dolphins. Sorry. Dolphins aren't that good. So they got a lot of easy games there. They're 7-1. And like I said, they haven't played a top 10 team yet. So that's probably the big reason for the record being so good. And I don't see a lot of hope for this team. I think they'll finish with 12 plus wins, but going to the playoffs, I think they're going to get bounced in the first round. So the talent hasn't changed. It's just the competition has. Moving on here, number 6, we have VF Saya. This is a guy that I was sleeping on, Coming into the season, I didn't really view him as a strong contender. In reality, the Chargers game was a forced loss, and the other two games were very close losses. So I wouldn't count this team out yet. I didn't view them as a strong contender. They're 5-3 to start the year. The turnover differential is insane. They only have 3 turnovers the entire season, which is crazy when you go up against a team like the Bears. You're playing the Saints, who are supposed to be good. Packers are supposed to be good. Giants are solid. There's some quality teams to play against. And personally, this is my biggest underdog to win the Super Bowl. If they can find a way past elite, and they're staying on the opposite side of East Side, whoever comes out of the AFC, if they win the turnover battle, they're going to have a great chance to win the game. Moving on here, 5th seed Eagles, head coached by Mr. Amwike. He's had a very easy schedule, only playing 3 users so far, and that one loss they had was just flat out domination. They're lucky to get ranked this high, but here they are. And this is a team that, although they haven't been playing well, their schedule's so easy, they're going to win the division. They're going to get a first round bye. So we'll just have to hope they improve in the playoffs. And just to show that, they're having a dual quarterback system because Watson ain't been playing great. The coach is saying he has to earn a spot every night, which is not a good look when it comes to, if you're in the back of your mind thinking you can't throw no picks, that's going to make you throw a pick. So not good for team chemistry there. I'm sure Watson's going to get frustrated and demand out, but we'll see what happens. Coming in at number 4, we have the undefeated Steelers, head coached by MJJ Juarez. And this isn't expected. We thought he was going to go 16-0 based on the teams he plays this season. So if he has an undefeated season or he goes 15-1, we expect that. You got to prove it in the playoffs that you deserve to be there. And, right now he's his quarterback, running back, and receiver all leading in the yardage category, which brings up a very interesting point that this team may even get suspended a game if they continue to keep padding their stats. They already had a warning. You don't get 2 warnings in this league. I'll let you know that right now. I know the commissioner very well. You don't get 2 warnings. So they might need to slow it down a little bit. However, we're very looking forward to the Week 11 matchup where they take on the Jaguars. This is another top contending team. We'll just go ahead and move on right into the Jaguars. And this is a team that's 6-1. Like I said, we already went over the game they had with the Chargers. Great game. And they've dominated the rest of their opponents. Haven't had any close games yet. So I like what I'm seeing out of this team to be in the AFC. They have a tough schedule ahead of them. They still got to play. We just went over the Steelers. They still got to play the Bears. So we'll see what happens there. And really, I think the biggest struggle point for this offense is that they're just not consistent. We saw in that matchup, they scored 24 points in the second quarter, and they finished with like 31. So you just got to have a more consistent offense. You can't just, blow your load in the second quarter and forget about the rest of the game. Shit don't work like that when you're playing good teams. Also, their offensive line's having some injuries, so that may be a problem for the rest of the regular season. However, I am hearing that they will be healed up by the playoffs. And coming in at number 2, we have the Bears, head coached by Elite X Sniper, with a current record of 8-0 and 7-0 versus users. And we already, this is the best team in the NFC. No one really compares to them when it comes to talent. Just the stick skills that this man's got. He's been dominating his opponents. And they're my new Super Bowl attendee favorites of the NFC. We'll see what happens. VFSI could be an interesting matchup for him. However, if Elite comes to play, we all know who the best man in this conference is. And finally, in the number one, everyone knew this one. The Chargers, East Side just proved his ranking with the win over the Jaguars. He's dominated teams all day long. 6-0 versus users this season. As remember, he dropped off the Saints, just beat the Jaguars, and now he's got Aaron Rodgers. That team's unstoppable. And just to prove how dominant they are, we've had 13 power rankings since Madden 20 started. They've been number one 10 times out of 13. So to beat a champ, you gotta beat the champ. No one's beaten the champ. He's number one. Finally, here we'll just go over the power rankings. We already went over the top 10. Number 11, we have the Rams. That's GOAT on them boys over there. He's been struggling this season. I'm sure he'll turn it around. Same thing with the Packers. Clutch. Even though his team isn't that great, he's a solid user. He'll turn around. They got Andy over there and the Panthers. McWetball and the Dolphins struggling this season. A new person just joined the league. That's the Texans. That's that's not Bunzo Cap. That is Can't Hang. So we'll see what we can get from him. Colts. They've been struggling all year. Their user just not that great. Cardinals have been inactive. Jets have been inactive, and the Raiders 0-6. It's supposed to say 0-6 as well. I'm not sure why it says 4-6, but they're struggling this year. I'm sure they'll be tanking for Trevor Lawrence. But that's it that we have for Satchmoe and the Bad Guy. We will see you in the next episode.